like to start with a moment of silence for all victims of violence.
You don't get to claim that. That's not your, those aren't your people to vote.
So just a
This
moment.
is a people's filibuster. This is bullshit. You are not in favor of safety.
Right, so we're going to civility.
We the people of Washington State will not tolerate our public resources being used to encourage harassment, discrimination, and violence.
Right now! Get off this stage!
We are here for peace, and if you can and be part of dialogue,
Your
otherwise you will have
positions lead to violence.
That's
right.
right.
102 deaths.
So
102 injured. 49 dead. This calling for discrimination, calling for violence, calling for harassment and intimidation is discivil. Keep it going. Shut this down.
We are going to start with the moment of silence, and anyone who does not want to participate in that moment of silence can leave. But be respectful for all victims of violence, especially the victims in Orlando and their families.
Silence is not enough.
Every single person deserves safety, deserves bodily privacy, and deserves dignity, including trans people.
Women are women.
Trans women are women. Trans women
are
are
women. Trans women are women.
Trans women are women.
Trans women are women.
So
100 trans women were murdered this year because of the hate that you promote.
I don't know what you're
1,600 women were murdered last year. Where are your voices about the 1,600 women who were murdered last year?
okay, so what I'm
I was sexually abused, and my abuser liked to stand there and watch me in the shower and laugh.
I was sexually assaulted too. Stop scapegoating trans women.
1 in 4 children are sexually abused or know dead people in their own family.
Generally by men.
Why is your chairman asking
By a trans person, no.
And what you are doing with this rhetoric is the same message that many girls and women have received their entire lives. If you do not give me what I want, you are hateful. If you do not give me the need of kowtow to my demands and compromise your own personal boundaries, then you are hateful. Those same men that you're trying to avoid can now follow you into the bathroom.
That's not true.
It sounds to me like nothing in this room is actually right initiative.
happening, or are you pulling this out of your ass?
Trans women are women!
how to create
Trans women are women!
NATO women, or trans people, or men.
I am a NATO woman and a trans woman.
No, you're not.
No, this is actually the same way.
No, it's not true.
Yes, it is.
Because, let me say this, just so that you're real clear, because everybody in here seems to be a statistician, and last I checked, unless somebody raises their hand and tell me I'm a statistician, I'm right here. That would be me. So let me tell you, when I hear statements like there's never been any instance of anything, that's not accurate.
Genital development is so complicated.
And we can get down to that, but that's not what we're talking about here. That's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about. Are you saying that NATO women are not at risk in bathrooms too?
And so are we.
Was that they're at risk with trans
for
people?
everybody.
Yeah, and trans
The risk is
women
there
are
for everybody.
victims of regular male violence.
And so are women. And so are women. And so we're saying, so what we're saying, nobody said they should not be protected. What they said is, how do we protect everybody? Are you listening or not? It sounds really good. The law allows for anybody to go into a restaurant. So it's not about trans people, and it's not about implying. No, you all made it, because what we want to talk about is bathroom safety for everybody. But if you came and listening, you would have known that.
I am listening. Okay.
But you would have known that. But it's great. Oh no, what I did was I stimulated a national dialogue about the rights of women and girls. Go check the record.
I wasn't heckling.
Yeah,
I was talking loud. I asked if you supported the KKK. That's all I asked.
You just physically threatened her. How is that?
I physically threatened her. I did not physically threaten her. I
So are we all here?
And wonder why we don't want your back. You and I can also have a
Lord Almighty.
I'm out of a job, so I'm actually doing this because it really matters. I'm not getting paid. I'm doing it because I'm a woman.
This is about the safety of human beings.
Yes, we're human beings.
I don't see any. Okay, I want to say something really blunt here. I want you to think about what I'm about to say.
What do you think about cops killing women?
Oh, jeez. Oh, for the love of mercy. One more outbreak and
Transgendered people are not the issue here. What bothers me and what I'm sure. Yeah, sure. Let me finish.
Well, actually, it is. I'm standing here in the.
Well, you're a man. So whatever.
He can't speak because he's a man?
No, it's not his
speak because it's not
purview
his
right
show.
here, right now. Not his purview. We're talking about the safety of women and children. It isn't trans people that we're worried about. What we are worried about is
the safety of women and children.
frankly, I don't want to shower next to a swinging dick.
Then don't shower at home.
Oh, shower at home.
Oh, yeah,
That's regression.
That's really feminist now.
Very progressive.
I'm not comfortable with it. Why is
Shower at home.
Yeah,
just 100 years ago.
Any less important than anybody else?
I'm not comfortable with the will trying, so I go home. Try my next
Okay.
But excuse me, can I just ask, so if she has to shower at home, how's that any different than what trans
It's not that she
people?
has to, she's making a choice to shower at home.
So do trans people.
So she cannot shower, she is making a choice to shower somewhere else.
What if that's not the pronouns that she uses?
He's still calling
What the
himself.
hell are you talking about?
I know.
So you want people to use the pronouns that people want, but when she says the pronoun, then you're yelling at her, telling her what the pronoun is? How's that work?
What we're doing
Civil penalties
is trying to give businesses the right to determine their own
That's
policies.
the language.
Because that way the Korean-based squad can do what they need to do. And if the YMCA wants to keep their open bathrooms, they can. But guess what? If 24-hour Fitness down the street doesn't want to, that means that that is someplace that I can choose as a patron. It gives people freedom. It does not mandate. It does not force everybody.
maintain. How is that not maintained?
Because it gives them alternatives if they are not
Who's
comfortable
going to be
there.
standing there checking who's going into what bathroom?
Nobody's going to be standing there
How
checking.
did-
It's kind of like having speeding laws.
Speeding
As the
laws
law
is
enforcement walks on the stage,
black and brown.
any male should walk into your locker room right next to you in the shower, and if you question him, he can sue you. I'm not okay with that. Now, I'm going to give the microphone back to Blair because she was speaking, and I don't think we're going to take any more questions during her speech, because she needs to be able to speak.
You are participating
I'm an American,
in
are
the
you?
first dialogue. Listen, you're doing something historic today. Because these speakers come from across the United States. If you don't want to be here, you don't have to.
No, we didn't ask.
No.